Coming off back-to-back wins to get our season back on track, we play against Pokemon and his Los Angeles Lakers in Week 8 of the BBL. A win here guarantees Joey his spot in playoffs, and a win here gives us a chance to make playoffs with a win in the final week, so this week is massive for both players. Joey's team is one of the league's unstoppable top cores in Mewtwo and Zarude, which will provide a tough challenge to overcome if we want to give ourselves a chance to make the playoffs. If you haven't already, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single upload for the BBL or any of the other competitive Draft League content we do every week on this channel. Getting into the matchup, our team is Lunala, Greninja, Tera Kingambit, Florges, Blastoise, Infernape, Bronzong, Dunsparce, Houndstone, Mudsdale, and Swalot. Joey's team is Mewtwo, Tera Zarude, Enamorus, Gliscor, Ironcrown, Primarina, Gouging Fire, Smeargle, Tera Avalugg, and Vileplume. Tera Zarude is enemy number 1 in Scarlet and Violet Draft League right now, seeing a big uptick in popularity over the last couple of months. Joey's team does a good job enabling this Pokemon, with Mewtwo as a top tier threat, pulling focus away from the powerful Tera Captain. Tera Water Zarude in particular does a great job against my team, and the expected counterplay I would have to that Pokemon, meaning we're going to need to play an offensive game to keep Zarude from coming in frequently. The hazard game is also going to be critical in this battle, with Gliscor freely able to set up spikes and toxic spikes against a majority of my team. This lowers the effectiveness of our Lunala and potentially forces us to run a lot of heavy duty boots on our team. Usually, this is something I'm comfortable doing, but my team being slightly weaker on the offensive side, I often need to rely on boosting items. Given this, we are required to bring our hazard removal this week to be able to win this hazard war. Battle Bond Greninja is our best win condition this week, with Choice Scarf Mewtwo being the only potential counterplay Joey could have to that set in the late game. There are many different angles that can be taken with this set, either with spikes plus 3 attacks, or even Swords Dance all having justification. Choice Scarf Protean even sees some merit worth considering, allowing us to keep offensive pressure up against a Mewtwo and Zarude combo. Dunsparce leads the team this week with the primary goal of setting up Stealth Rocks. Punishing Pokemon like Zarude and Primarina that may try to come in frequently with entry hazards is crucial to our Greninja endgame. We get access to Glare as well, which once hazards are up is a great move to click into the majority of threats that Ink can throw at us. Boomburst gives us a stab move to deal damage to the Zarude and Primarina, which are running 44 speed to outspeed mid-speed stats on the Primarina, and Dragon Tail is our final move to prevent Pokemon like Gliscor or Gouging Fire from using it as a setup opportunity. To keep hazards off the field, we are bringing Rapid Spinner Blastoise this week, which conveniently has a good matchup against Joey's hazard setting Gliscor. This Pokemon's only role is to Rapid Spin, getting off a strong Ice Beam if Joey stays in to deal damage with Earthquake. Haze allows us to use this against Gouging Fire, hazing off a key Dragon Dance boost if we are at high HP. Flip Turn is our final move, giving us some momentum in situations where Gliscor knows it is unable to stay in on our Ice Beam. As discussed in the overview, Battle Bond Greninja is going to be our win condition this week using a Life Orb Swords Dance set. Gliscor is the main Pokemon we want to be in front of to get a Swords Dance off on, allowing us to then outspeed and kill any Pokemon that he switches into. This is why Stealth Rocks are so key, as Chip on Zarude and Primarina allows us to kill both of these Pokemon even through Resist Berries, enabling our Battle Bond sweep. We are adamant as that allows us to outspeed the next fastest Pokemon in Enamorus while maximizing our damage output. Liquidation and Night Slash are the expected stab moves to have on this SD set, with Gunk Shot allowing us to kill pre-Tera Zarude and Primarina even through Kebia Berry after a Swords Dance. Figuring out a Tera type for Kingambit was going to be a challenge this week, with no typing working well against the majority of his team. At the last second, I elected to go with Tera Fire, prioritizing the matchup against Gouging Fire, preventing it from being neutralized by Burn. Our HP and defense allows us to live multiple Earthquakes from non-boosted Gouging Fire, particularly important against these defensive sets that may try to come in and burn us. Black Glasses maximizes our damage output, as the set is once again Swords Dance with stabs, allowing us to Swords Dance and win in the endgame, as Kingambit often finds itself doing. Despite Tera Water Zarude being the most likely set we see from Joey this week, Infernape has enough tools to be able to manage the powerful Tera Captain. Will-O-Wisp and Encore are great moves to manage any possible setup Zarude, and Infernape's speed tier allows us to cover even the quickest of Zarude sets. Close Combat is here as a way to damage both Tera Water and specifically Tera Dark if Joey wants to use his Zarude as a way to be leveraged against Lunala, and then Gunk Shot coverage for his most likely switch in for Infernape being the Primarina. Lunala is once again our Choice Scarfer this week, hoping to use its powerful Ghost coverage to great effect against Joey's team. Will-O-Wisp is a great status move to threaten switches with this set, as a potential Tera Dark Zarude could be a common switch in for Lunala. Moongeist Beam is basically standard at this point, and Ice Beam and Thunderbolt provide the classic Bolt Beam coverage, giving us 2 great moves that we can lock into in the endgame if need be. And with that, we have our build for week 8 of the BBL. As always, shout out to Kaz and Brown for all the build and mock support this week. Let's get right into the battle. Alright, we're into the battle against Joey now. He's brought basically the team that we expected. He's Terra Water Zarude, which was worst case scenario up this build, unfortunately. That's a little bit, that's kind of the worst case. But we're leading to Dunsparce to get Upper South Rocks. Our main goal in this game is we have to win the Hazard War early. If Gliscor starts stacking spikes and toxic spikes, it's just going to be a problem. So we got to get our rocks up early. That'll put pressure on that Gouging Fire. Get me some chip on Enam, all the like, and we can cook from there. So good luck, have fun to Joey. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. And let's get into it. Joey's team is very, very good against my team style with the Mewtwo and the Tera Zarude. He does just lead with the Gliscor. I do expect he's got to protect here on this turn 1. This is probably the best case scenario turn, honestly, for me. I don't expect him to be a setup variant in this spot. It really wouldn't make a lot of sense. Just to get like randomly, like, there's just so much that can go wrong if you try to set up in front of the Dunsparce on turn 1. So I expect him to honestly just try to get some hazards up. So I'm gonna get my rocks up and then go Blastoise here. Get myself into this game pretty quickly with an early good sequence. What we need is if we get the lead sequence to go right, then I feel a little bit more confident about this game. He's just gonna use Toxic. Okay, I take that every time. That's a good turn sequence for me. He's not gonna get any hazards up, so I can just go Blastoise here. But Toxic on this is a little frustrating. I mean, we're going to sack this Pokemon up anyway. This is kind of, in all reality, it's like a dedicated lead. This is just always going to be a dedicated lead, so there's not really much for this Pokemon to do. And we're just going to go Blastoise. Don't expect really a double here. I expect a hazard, if anything, to come out, and then we can get a Rapid Spin and then flip turn off on something. So we get our Dunsparce out, which means he's going to stay in because he is faster. In comes Blastoise. He's just going to EQ. We'll take that. We'll chew that easily every day. Yeah, that did literally 0 damage. At this point, because of the fact that he hasn't set up hazards, I think like he can't really risk Ice Beam. He can't risk a lot of things here. He knows like I'm going to be fully defensive. I'm just going to go for the flip turn. He just can't risk Ice Beam here and taking a lot of damage. This Pokemon's just so good. You have such a free turn into something like the Primarina. This is just not worth you taking a risk here and taking damage on that Pokemon. Oh, he's just going to Earthquake, really? Okay. Wow, did not necessarily expect that. So I'm just going to get this flip out. Okay. Well, good to note that he's content to just like EQ through that Pokemon. A lot of different options here. I could fake my item here. I can go to SD. There's no way I can like SD and go for game here. Like that would just be irresponsible. I think my best play is honestly just go Lunala and and Ice Beam or Will-O-Wisp. He can't really go Zarude, so I'm just going to Ice Beam. Ice Beam covers this, it covers an aggressive Zarude. Nothing really on his team wants to switch into this Ice Beam here. So I'm content to just like take some damage with Ice Beam. I gotta take some damage somewhere. And if he wants to get aggressive, if he wants to go into like Primarina or something, we're perfectly fine with that. We can just go back into our Dunsparce. Our Dunsparce has a little bit of speed for Primarina as well, so we'll be able to get some chip on that with the Boom Burst, which will be important for our Greninja endgame calcs. Man, kind of wish I got the Ice Beam off, eh? That would have been pretty nice. I really thought he would have gone into Primarina there. I felt like Primarina was pretty free, but I think getting chip on Blastoise just to weaken that Pokemon and to get hazards up later is going to be so nice. He's just going to go Protect. That's fine. I think this means we're pretty likely to just see a hop on out into the Primarina. Gliscor is kind of holding us up right now. I could go hard into the Dunsparce and just Boom Burst. I want to preserve my shield, so I don't think he's going to want to stand and take this Ice Beam. Like, this could just be specs. Like, there's so many ways this goes wrong for him. And I just need to preserve my shield as much as possible for the end game. So let's make this hard out play. We can't Glare, unfortunately, because he could probably just come back into this. But as I said, I don't mind Boom Bursting here. I think Boom Bursting is a positive turn for me. I don't get to a KO by Earthquake if he goes back into Gliscor. He doesn't really want to switch into the Boom Burst. It starts opening up chip on like a variety of things. So I'm gonna double out here. Let's get into Dunsparce and see if we can put some damage up on this team. There we go, perfect. Alright, this has been a weird start to the game. I feel like I could have taken some great damage on... wow, he goes to Root here. Was actually like willing to risk the Ice Beam on this Pokemon, which is interesting. Yeah, like he would have taken a lot from Ice Beam there. Damn, that's a good play on his part. Let's see. Dunsparce versus Zarude. He could SD, he could be SD Lum. I think my best sequence here, honestly, is just honestly get the chip on this Pokemon. Like, basically, like, what we just need this Dunsparce to do is just get chip at some point. I could Dragon Tail this guy out, actually. Dragon Tail would actually be kind of fire. He is susceptible to Glare. I'm just going to Boom Burst. I don't know if he's going to stay in. He's just going to bulk up. Okay, so this chip is going to be nice because it puts it in range of Scarf. Gives me good Scarf Lunala turns. And now if he tries to bulk up again, I'm just going to go for... So let's see what the Calcum Power Whip is. There's one roll that kills me here, so I'm just going to Dragon Tail. That's from Jolly though, so like he could just try to bulk up here again. So I'm just going to go for the Dragon Tail, get this Pokemon out. This Pokemon now has the requisite chip that we need for Lunala to check it with Thunderbolt, which is good. And he might get greedy. He might just get greedy here, honestly. But I expect the Power Whip most likely to come out here, or knock off. Jungle Healing? Okay, perfect. Really need to land this Dragon Tail here. Perfect, alright. Threat averted for now. We learned some information on this. So it's leftovers. Jungle. Yeah, really not happy to see this guy. It's Boots, okay. So Jungle. So it's Tera Water, so interesting to see like what coverage we would expect this Pokemon to have. Because this is Boots, I honestly think it's just going to be a defensive set. That was like one of the best sets that was available to them in Mox. So I honestly kind of just want to Glare this Pokemon. I think Glare is actually a pretty good play here. Boom Burst is doing a lot, and I don't think they really want to mess with that. So I'm just going to... Alright, he's just going to DD. I'm going to get my Glare off here. We know that he's Boots, so this is going to be a great turn for me here. And now this Pokemon is going to be neutralized for the rest of the game as a setup sweeper. Alright, Dunsparce is getting me a lot of value here right now. A lot of value out of Dunsparce for just being, like, honestly, like a throwaway lead. Like, Dunsparce is really not supposed to get me this kind of value. The question here is Scale Shot. Scale Shot can kill. He's probably just Dragon Claw. He'd have to Flare Blitz to kill me, I think. Well, no, not +1. Yeah, he can kill with a variety of moves here. I think, honestly, like, I just, like, Boom Burst here and just put pressure on damage-wise. I'm going to get this chip. He's just going to Flare Blitz. Alright, so even if I was faster, it wasn't going to matter. Alright. We got this thing paired. We lose it to Dunsparce. The Dunsparce got me some value here early. That's basically what we needed from this Pokemon, was to get some value early. I think I want to go into such a tough spot here to really think of like what's like the effective way to deal with this. I honestly think I'm just going to go Lunala. I think Lunala is actually pretty good here. I threaten a lot of kills here, and I do have my shield. I always had speed, so I keep my Scarf a secret here. I could get really aggressive and go for the attack to hit the Zarude. But I just don't see the value in that. He might just want to take my shield, which he does want to do. He wants to get that shield. So if I can just get rid of this Pokemon, I'll take that. I'll take that every time. Flare Blitz will live this every time with the Shadow Shield. Yep, easy. HP on this thing is not super important. And we'll just Moongeist Beam again. No real point. I kind of expect him to just give me this. Now that it's paralyzed, no real reason to get aggressive into Zarude. He'll switch out. Alright. We can go into our Infernape here though. Perfectly fine. And I'm not concerned about that at all. Even though it's water. I can get aggressive into that. Now, Gouging Fire. Pretty neutralized the rest of this game. Pretty neutralized the rest of this game. Let's go hard Infernape here. We're getting ourselves into this game pretty nicely, all things considered. This game could have this game easily could have gone a lot worse. And the fact that our Lunala is picking up so much value early is super nice.
Still need to make sure that we can beat that Mewtwo, though, in the back. That's going to be such a problem. In comes the Tera Water. Tera Blast is always a possibility here. This was, unfortunately, part of the game plan, is the fact that this is such a risky turn. I never die to this. He's just going to go for the jungle healing, just to heal back up. I can always encore this. The question is like, I don't think I have a reason to encore this. I might as well just get my burn. Burn is so good on this. Getting burn on Prim is so good too. I'm just gonna go for the burn. All right, he's gonna let me burn this Pokemon. Nice. Nice. That should give me a little bit more inflammation too. He's gonna Tera Blast. It should do at most about 49. Yeah, it looks to be about 49. All right. So we got the burn on this Pokemon. Man, maybe we should have encored, honestly. Maybe encore would have been the safer play. I really would have figured you go. Primarina there. But now he's got a burned Zarude. And things are starting to look nice. Like, this is now because, like, this game is starting to look really, really powerful for Kingambit. Like, the more that we play this game, the more that it's like, wow, Kingambit starts to look like so much better here than you would think. And this starting to be put in a position where we're starting to get this in a good spot. I'm gonna go. I say this, but I don't really necessarily have a good next step from here. I guess my best next step is honestly to go Kingambit. I just don't see how low kick is your last move. I think that'd be pretty irresponsible building. So I'm just gonna go to Kingambit. This is obviously like super aggressive, but I do have a lot of bulk, and with the gouging fire down, I'm actually at liberty to use a lot more HP here than I necessarily would have liked to. He's just gonna jungle healing. Okay. And its burn was cured. Okay, so he's curing the burn there, but we have a really, really powerful turn here with our Kingambit. No reason to go for any nonsense here. With one ally fainted, this should be a really good sequence for us. I kind of just like going for SD here, actually. Let me just Swords Dance, honestly. There's no way he's going to be a low kick last move. That would just not make a lot of sense against my team. You just get like wall by Blastoise. And if he bulks up, then I can just start going with him. So I'm going to SD here. He's just going to withdraw. All right. So he's just going to go into the Gliscor. So this Earthquake's going to do a lot of damage. I'm not killing. So we're starting to get... Look, this is... this feels like we're not making a lot of progress here in this game. And the fact that he is jungle healing on Zarude is a little bit of a problem. And I probably should have encored there, honestly, thinking about it. It was definitely a mistake. Knowing it was jungle healing, just not a logical play. But we forced a Tera out of that now. Now our next big step is we just got to deal with this guy. Earthquake, we take 2 of these every time. 195, it takes 75. And now, at this point, I think I'd just go for the Ice Beam here. At worst, I can flip turn off of the Zarude and get into something like the Lunala. So I'm just going to Ice Beam here. See if he lets me take some damage. Alright, he's going to stay in. This damage could be crucial here on the Gliscor. Yeah, that's good. That's a good amount of damage. He's going to protect off some of this damage, surely. Like, you protect here. I guess, like, I could get aggressive and go Lunala here on this sequence. But I guess my goal is just to keep this as low as possible. And Lunala is just so important here that I just don't see the reason to risk that. We're slowly starting to run out of options, it feels like. Like, our best way to win. Like, Greninja is such a good win con in this battle. And given, like, I have so many turns that I can set it up with. I just have to pick my spot here. I'm just going to Ice Beam. He's going to protect. Yeah, I could have gone Lunala there. That's such a high-risk play. Just, it's one of those things where sometimes you just don't need to make those plays. But I can get Lunala back in, and it's going to be a really, really hard turn for him, because he definitely can't stay in. So take an Ice Beam from Lunala, and I can just go for Moongeist. Alright. Maybe a little bit punished on a non-aggressive play there. We're losing our pieces, but we've dealt with Gouging Fire. We've put Zarude. We've kind of, like, figured out what Zarude is trying to accomplish in this battle. And we're getting closer to a point where Greninja can win this game. That's what we're looking to do here. Let's go into our Lunala, and he knows we have Ice Beam. He knows that's what our play is going to be. Most likely he can protect here to scout. That's always the case here. I mean, if he goes into... I think you just protect here every time. I think you have to protect. Yeah, okay. So I'll lock myself into Ice Beam here. He knows I'm going to protect. Now he has to switch out because he can't just lose this Pokemon to Ice Beam. I guess in theory, what do I do here? The more I think about this sequence, I wonder if it actually... I'm going to Ice Beam here again because one, he could just give this to me. And two, I actually like the path into Greninja first, honestly. Once again, I'm not like... I'm at this point, like, I'm kind of trying to claw my way back into this. My team's matchup just didn't have a lot of good coverage here. And we get a freeze if we could. But here, I expect the Tera Blast Water to come out here. And what I'm going to try to do is use my Greninja to pivot into Infernape. Or is it just best to use Infernape? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to just go Infernape. I mean, he can Tera Blast Water here. That's like the most likely outcome. But I just don't think I have it in me to make a play different than that. I think it's just too much risk. Wow, he goes for the knockoff too. Okay, wow, really happy we made this play then. This play ended up working out amazingly. Because now... I mean, now I just Encore this. Yeah, I'm going to Encore you in a knockoff. I should have Encored earlier. That would have been obviously the best play I could have made, but... we can take those all day. We can get this Pokemon out with a burn too, which means our Greninja will be able to come in and set... once we get an SD up, we can SD even on this Pokemon at some point. And move our sequence that way. He could go Gliscor here. If he goes Gliscor, that's fine. Yeah, he goes Gliscor here. But that Pokemon... alright, that Pokemon is in range now of the Greninja at +2. So I wonder if that's like if it's time to start going to town here at a certain point. It's one of those things where you just gotta start putting yourself out there and making a play to hopefully win you this game. I'm just gonna CC if he protects. Okay, that's gonna give me a little bit of chip, but I have to let this Pokemon go to get a free switch into Greninja. We lose this. Look, it's looking dire. Look, it's looking dire. This is how I feel like a lot of our games have gone. Is we've sacked like an infinite amount of Pokemon to put ourselves into positions that could like maybe look good. We get our chance here now into Greninja. And to be honest, I don't see a reason. I don't think you're gonna stay in. I think I'm gonna take my Sword Stance here, and just start going for it. I could Gunk Shot first, but I think I'm gonna Sword Stance. I think you protect. All right, this is what we were looking for here. Sword Stance time. We opened up a sequence that can make it work. He has to be like literally Choice Scarf Mewtwo to prevent this thing from winning here. If I get the turns right. Like this kills. And what is he get? Like what do you go into there? Like does Primarina? What is the Primarina? Primarina kills through Cabia Berry on max HP at this point, right? Yeah, it kills through that. So I'm just gonna Liquidation here. Let's see what he wants to go into. Princess. I kill through Cabia Berry here, especially after Rocks and Liquidation Chip. Yeah, I definitely kill through Cabia. Oh, wow, and a Defense Drop? Wow, Defense Drop is crazy. Red card. Wow, red card is really, really good there for Joey. Saves him from a potential disaster. Hey, but I got a free switch onto Lunala. Okay. So, big crisis averted for Joey there. We could have really set up a chance to win this game. Problem is now is he's got a really, really bad turn here, and I think he's going to have to give me a Pokemon, is my guess. I'm just going to Moongeist Beam. Thunderbolt obviously is potentially good too, but I want to prevent Gliscor from coming in. Or like, Gliscor could come in, but I have to sack a Pokemon to get my Greninja back in. So I'm just going to Moongeist Beam. Should be able to pick this Pokemon off. Wow, crazy. Damn, I should live this, though, pretty consistently. I have a lot of bulk, yeah. Not great, but... Wow, damn. Alright, we at least got a Pokemon. Maybe I should have T-Balled. I don't know. The problem is I got to sack a Pokemon. Deal with that. So, good prep on Joey's part to get through that first problematic phase. Basically my my big win con there. But now it's going to be interesting to see what he wants to do here. Because I have a lot of interesting turns. He's just going to go to this. Do I just go for the same situation again? Do I just go for, like, do I just go for damage here? I think I just go for damage, right? I'm just going to Moongeist Beam, get some damage off here. If he EQs, he EQs, that's fine. At this point, I don't need the SD to win. The SD was really, really good for the Primarina, but Primarina's down. So I can just, like, be very passive with this set. That's good damage. EQ, we're definitely dying to this every time. Alright. Goodbye, Lunala. Now, what do we want to do? Greninja is still such a threat here for Joey. Such a threat. Liquidation is killing from this range. Earthquake is doing a good amount. I still have all my Life Orb hits left. I could take an Earthquake and I have access to 4 Life Orb hits. He's got 5 Pokemon. And I got a Kingambit in the back. He's already Terra Watered. If I get to +2... I mean, I'm going Greninja here every time. Question is like, he definitely... Oh, man. This is a tough position for him. He has to EQ, right? You have to EQ, right? What's +1 Calc versus Zarude? Is the water. Man, that's freaking close. I don't think it's enough. I think I have to SD. Again. I think I have to SD. It's my best play. I mean, what do you go? Like, you can't sack a Pokemon here. Like, you take this EQ. You don't want to sack this and get Battle Bonded on. Like, Battle Bond, like, could just be enough. You're definitely Power Whip on that Zarude, though. I'm just going to SD. I think SD is still the most responsible attack. He's going to Earthquake. He's going to Earthquake, which is fine. But we have enough. Like, we should take, like, what? Like, a max, like, 56. Alright. Like, this feels like enough, right? And this Liquidation here. The problem is he can make switches to, like, Enam and stuff to, like, get out of this a little bit. He's going to withdraw here. Give me another Pokemon. Victor Black, what is this? Oh, it's this, okay. Alright, so we take that Pokemon, so it could be left like Gliscor last Pokemon then. So I got my boost. Maybe I didn't want to take that EQ. Man, I don't know. It's such a tough choice to make in the moment right there. Like, I'm definitely getting my fair share of Pokemon here. Like, there's no doubt I'm getting a bunch. Like, we're getting out with a few. Like, Mewtwo, like, we're definitely outspeeding this guy. Right? Like, there's no way. I mean, if this is Scarf, then he's Scarf. Like, then he's just got me, but... I mean, what am I gonna do? I can't play around Scarf now. It's just not an option. He is Scarf! Wow, okay, damn. Yeah, good bring on Joey's part there to get me with the Scarf. Now my play is just to go Kingambit. Look, Kingambit, if anyone can do it, Kingambit can freaking do it here. If anyone can do it, Kingambit can do it. I think he's just going Gliscor here every time, right? Like, there's just no other rationale. Play. I kind of wish it was Water at this point. I guess Water doesn't matter. I think Fire is technically, like, a little bit better. I think I just SD. You just Aura Spheres. I think I played him going Gliscor. Yeah, okay. I have speed, but I definitely don't have enough speed for that. For this Pokemon. This Pokemon is definitely going to be in range of this Kowtow with like 5 allies down. And then it's going to create a really hard turn on Zarude. But I think we just ran out of too many options there. Really good bring on the red card by Joey there to have that, because that could have definitely been game. It could have potentially been game. Obviously the Choice Scarf, Mewtwo is really, really good for this build. Now, I've got a lot of defensive bulk in here, which is going to be my savior a little bit. This Kowtow should obviously kill from here. This Kowtow should definitely kill, given all the calcs that I've done pre-game. Alright, he's going to taunt. I'll take that. I'll take that. 5 allies down, +2 Kowtow. Yep, goodbye, Gliscor. This is getting interesting. Because Root is definitely in threat here. This is an interesting turn against the Root. Do I just kowtow? It's going to be a Kingambit Masterclass to end it off again. we gotta find a way to like mind game with Kingambit. The thing is, he didn't even damage me, man. He didn't take any damage off my guy. He goes into this, right? Like, I just sucker this, right? Like, am I tripping? I just sucker, right? Oh, you might have like Shadow Sneak or some shit. I mean, you lock yourself into Shadow Sneak if you do that, right? Yeah, you just lock yourself in. I'm sucker punching here. I'm taking this guy with me. Give me the Mewtwo, big dog. If you like Shadow Sneak, but then if you Shadow Sneak, I just like kowtow and kill something else. Alright, goodbye Mewtwo. Dude, there's no way this Kingambit's gonna pull this game back, man. Dude, there's no way Kingambit's actually gonna lock in and pull a victory out of here for us. What is the Enam calc? Enamorous at +2 with 5 guys dead. Man, sucker kills the Enam too. No way it kills this Enam. Do we get any idea what this is? Dude, Earth Power. Bro, do I just sucker here? I got a sucker, right? Dude, the mind games are too much. I'm just gonna sucker, man. Give me this Pokemon. Let's go. That's another Pokemon. Dude. Kingambit, and there's no way Kingambit won me this game. Dude. Let's go. Fucking Tera Goku comes through. You know, hey, everyone's would say Tera Zuru is the new guy on the block. Hey, it's still Kingambit streets right now. It's still Kingambit streets. Out here. Tera Blast, Fire. There's no set that can kill me. Given what he's had. I mean, he could crit me, I guess. Crit does have a chance to kill. But I'm always kowtowing in case he does something crazy. In case he just like tries to jungle healing up. Or like play the sucker mind games. Don't want to mess around with that one bit. Man, what a freaking game this was. It has to... I don't even think, like... I don't think there's a chance that Joey can pull this one out here at this point. Not with +2, Allies Fallen, Kingambit. Man, what a game of Pokemon, dude. It looked like for a couple turns, we were in 6-0 danger territory. It was looking dicey for a minute. But somehow, hey, look... When the offense turns the corner, the offense turns the corner, and there's four quarters for a reason. That bulk up shouldn't be enough here to get this one down. Get this one. We should just be able to kowtow through this and kill. There we go. What a game! What a friggin' win, man! Holy crap! 5-3 on the season. That's what. That's 3 wins in a row. We're on a streak. We got one more game against OG Albina next week. We win that, we're in playoffs. It's as simple as that. That's been a lucky one against Pepsis. And then Kingambit pulls out in this one to get it done. Great game to Joey. I would say check out his channel, but I think it's going to be a little bit more the other way around this week. Wow, what a game. See you guys all next week.